Casey, and all the officers at BIU. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's heartbreaking.
It's surreal to stand 2 feet from someone and have them tell you how they've plotted to kill themselves. And some of them were successful.
After you talked to them?
Yep. Some were homicidal. And after the hospital kicked them out, they carried out the homicide.
Divert to where?
It's not only a crisis here locally, it's a state crisis, and I think it's a crisis around America, and we got to figure out how to solve it. What's going to be the best way to handle these people to where we can get them the appropriate treatment they need, get them stabilized, and get them to where they're no longer a danger to self and others.
Texas cops get a hugely unfair reputation in the Northeast and the Northwest. The guys I've introduced you to here are, in my experience, great examples of why I think that. And some of this is our fault. Texas legislators have, fairly often in recent memory, taken a ride one stop too far on the crazy train. People poke fun of Texas. They think we're the state with the drive-up window for executions packed with gun nuts and yahoos. But look what Texas has done. Every officer in the state is mandated to get mental health response training and update it every 2 years. The Sandra Bland Act requires more in terms of mental health of Texas jailers and sheriffs than anywhere. Texas is the future of mental health policing in America. Casey's in.
This job suits all of my talents and abilities. Some people have just a natural ability to do it. I happen to have that natural ability, I suppose.
In 10 years, I bet we see a lot more agencies across the country running programs like Ken's BIU and Sheriff Wayburn's Comfort Dog and Intelligence Program, even if it doesn't always work out. 2 days after we were in the ER, I heard that the hospital thought Floyd was drug-seeking. After a few hours, apparently, he forgot his main complaint was suicidal ideation. But remember, that wasn't his chief complaint. His chief complaint was that he couldn't breathe.
Wouldn't you agree?
I can't breathe.
You can't breathe? Okay. You want the paramedics to come out and check you out?
Yeah, I guess.
Remember, I said earlier he didn't actually ask for anything. But in an overcrowded system, after seeing EMTs, an admitting nurse, an ER doc, a psych nurse, a psych doc, the system is trying to weed out and triage. Of course they're suspicious of people. I don't blame any of those people. And also, by the time all those people got to see him, he had been fed for the first time in 3 days. He's got some morphine on board, so his pain's more bearable. Maybe he wasn't as suicidal as he was when we found him in the park. Or maybe he suckered us. How do you tell the difference?
That's a great question. How do you tell the difference between someone who's truly suicidal, if they tell you they're suicidal, and someone who isn't?
There's just nothing easy about this job, and that starts with how few people understand it. They demand it's done, but very few people seem concerned with the details until something bad happens. Then, they want answers. But it's hard to understand the answers you get when you truly don't understand the size of the problem, the context in which people do this work. So often, when you get the real answer, it doesn't make sense. I think about the willpower it took for Ken to envision and create a job and a strategy no one asked him to create. To convince the chiefs of police, the city council, the mayors, the lawyers of 3 cities to try something so new you can't even agree on how to measure success. And I think about the risks that all those officials took in moving forward at all. There was no political penalty for not doing this, and they did it. When I think about America's political turmoil, that public servants like these still exist gives me great hope.
This can be a very emotional job in that you're dealing with people at their very, very worst. And you're going to see some very, very bad things. And every call you deal with is going to be someone mentally unstable. And sometimes you're going to get there after they've already committed the act. We realize we can't save everyone. But if we do our jobs and we're proactive, we'll probably save more than we would have if we did nothing at all, if we just took a reactive approach.